Is it this one? Let me show. Let me see.
Feeling of racial pride is not new for many African
This is a
Americans.
good one.
With the resurgence of black awareness and pride, black men and women face new problems, not only in relation to white society, but to each other in a black society. Recently, there has been a stream of articles on this subject, and the Chicago Daily Defender, America's largest black newspaper, began a series some weeks ago on the emergence of the new black woman. Benny Washington, reporter for the paper, surveyed the Chicago scene to report on how black men and women believe the revolution and racial pride will affect them and their families.
Now, mind you, this is in the 1970s. So
Okay.
what I want you to do, have you ever seen this?
No, never did.
So what I want you to do is listen to the talking points and tell me what's the difference from the 1970s, what you hear them talking about from back then to what you hear today on podcasts.
The sociologists and experts tell us how we are supposed to react.
As a reporter for the Chicago Daily Defender and as a black woman married to a black man, I become deeply aware of the effects of this new black revolution on the relationship between black man and black woman. I see it among my own friends, and I also see it in my home. But the most revealing and the most vocal statements about what the new black man expects from the new black woman came when I met with a group of young...
The modern man and the modern woman. Keep that. She's just using the word the new black man and the new black woman.
unmarried friends one Saturday afternoon.
I think that what's happening in America as far as black men, black women is concerned is that there's a revolution within a revolution. We are fighting our own woman. Our woman will not allow us to emerge as black men. No. But our black women, who has been put in this role of aiding white America, white structure, and castrating the black male, has continued doing this. She cannot live with us. It's not that we can't live with her.
Are you blaming us? Are you saying that it's our fault that this happened?
No, I'm not blaming black America women. I just said that I'm blaming the system. They are victims of the system like the black male.
Well, why do you say that we are castrating you? You say that you want to be the leaders. Okay, well, what about the black professional woman? Are you saying that there should be no black professional woman? Are you trying to deny black women the right to be creative, the right to function?
We're not asking for you to take a back seat. We're saying that you have got to be astute enough and can view the situation well enough where you just automatically know what your role is and step back. And whenever you want to have that aggressive thing, this is the thing that the young black man today is not going to tolerate. My old man tolerated it because his old man tolerated it. It came up for years and years and years. But today, the young black man is not going to take it. He's going to be out there as the leader.
White America has used black women.
So I'm gonna pause it right there, but what's the similarities that you hear in these talking points from the 1970s before we was born to what you hear today on podcast?
Well, he's seeing the issues with the black professional woman. That's what he's seeing as even if it's the society that he's blaming initially,
Right.
but he's seeing what the emergence of it,
Right.
Yeah,
What I'm trying to tell you, it's not much of a difference.
To keep the black male in his place. And you're still aiding him by saying, well, we are qualified, we want to work, we can help.
Okay, how are you going to reprogram men so that they don't let us take over what's supposed to be their responsibility? And men that I have had dealings with, they are perfectly willing to sit back and let us do anything we want to.
I don't think that you have to reprogram men. I think you have to reprogram women.
No, you have to reprogram the man so that he will forcefully take what belongs to him, because women, as long as we can get, we're gonna get, and it's part of our being. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it sounds a little current. I'm not gonna lie, because she's like talking about which a lot of women are now saying, "Oh, men gotta step up. Men gotta step up."
Same thing. Yo, we've been fighting this fight since the 70s, right around the time of the feminist movement in 1965. We've been fighting this fight, yo. Oh my God. Like like my girl Johnson said here. She said nothing has changed. Actually, it's gotten worse, and it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse because you know why? The marriage rates are speaking for itself, right? The now you got men saying, I don't even want a black woman. So it's not even like black men are even turning around and saying like, yo, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be with you. It's almost like I don't need you. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get my passport and I'm gonna go overseas and find a wife because y'all tripping. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not getting black women overseas, but the black American woman is almost like obsolete to a lot of black men.
Yeah.
And this fight's been going on since then. I'm gonna keep going though.
Anything to you that you let us, whether we want to or not.
You don't want to live on the level of income that I can afford you and love me on the basis of that. You want to always be aspiring to have all those things that's a part of the great middle class white American society. And because I can't deliver these things to you, you say that you are not a man.
I don't measure a
That's that 100K man. That's that 100K that I need the 6-figure man. And my homegirl here is going to say, I don't measure a man by his money, but obviously he is having real-time experience with women that is making him say this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
man by how much money he can bring home. I measure a man by how he treats me. Whether when I'm tired and I'm sick and I'm scared, he's there.
For these women, the men are there. But with the feeling of racial pride has come new conflicts and new problems. Across America, they meet to discuss what black awareness means to their families and to them as black women of today.
You know, there have been a lot of myths created about the black family. We all recognize that. And one of the most pernicious myths is the myth of the black matriarch, you know, and this whole concept. And I think this is one of the reasons that the black community reacted so negatively to the Moynihan report, because we know that that's not true. It was not like that.
So what do you think about that? Where her talking about it's a myth about the black matriarch. And also you're familiar with the Moynihan report, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what's your thoughts on what she's saying?
See, I don't know how it was more so then, but especially if I'm correct, that was usually around the time where the whole welfare system, everything came into play. And you know, there were a lot of single parent homes led by the mother. So I don't understand where she said that that's not true. I'm not getting what she's not seeing with that.
Yeah. I mean, I believe we live in a patriarchal society overall, right? Because at any minute, you know, the 1% man can change the rules for us all. But in the black community in particular, we live in a matriarchal society where black men haven't had a voice for many years. We haven't been able to really say much because the women run the houses. We've always had to report to Big Mama. We've always, that's all we've known, you know. Me as a man, I can tell you just in my own anecdotal experiences, it's been my mom, right? And my dad was who I went to for discipline only.
Right.
So, you know, that's really how I look at that. You want to read that?
Most couples don't tap into overall goals, wants, and needs early on in the relationship. That's a fact. Because what I was going to mention earlier was even when it comes to a lot of the single parent homes and with the women-led single parent homes, I feel like a lot of times it comes down to even our vetting. Vetting is a big thing that we're not doing now, or we're not even teaching our young girls to do. You know, so when we don't vet properly and all, we don't know, and this is before dating, and it affects the whole outcome of everything. But then there's a lot of other factors in, which is why I say I can never only be one-sided on the argument, because you have to deal with a whole lot of what women have to deal with at a young age as well. You know, when you're talking about the stats with molestation in you know, for young women and the exposure to sex and to sex in the media and things like that, they're facing so much that they'll have to kind of hurdle over before they even get into the whole age of dating sometimes. And that affects a lot of their choices, because remember, there's a whole lot of things that trickle down with it that people don't usually want to touch, as in to say like self-esteem, self-worth, all that other stuff. So then you have women going into OnlyFans and all that and not caring, not having any care, because that's what they're used to, or they've been introduced at an early age into sexuality and things like that, you know? So it's like there's so many, that's why I said there's multifaceted reasons why that we need to kind of target sometimes before, which is what it's just said, that we have to tackle before, even early in the relationship.
Right. I mean, I totally agree. And the biggest thing is what I believe that women should do, right? Young women should, now, my opinion, you could definitely, or anyone in the comment section can rebut this or agree with it, right? But my opinion is that young women should have men, preferably the father, vet out the husband, right? Vet out the man, right? It shouldn't be you, because you will make poor decisions. Women usually lead off of emotions, right? So if you're leading and you're meeting a man and it's all, fairy tale butterflies and rainbows and gumdrops and all that good stuff, right? You can't see past how you feel at the moment.
Right.
But if you have a man, a strong man that's thoroughly, now I'm not just talking about any man. I'm talking about a strong man that's dominant, that understands a leadership role, understands male nature and what men need to be before he becomes a wife. If you have your father vetting out those men, awesome. Now, let's say the situation is you don't have a father. Well, you need to bring that man to your uncles, any man, it don't matter, your mama best friend, any man in your life needs to thoroughly vet that man, so long as the man that's vetting them has a lot of, male traits that would carry his own legacy.
Yeah, because
The
even when I
mistake
think
is,
about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking, like, even when I think about it, like, even in biblical times, they had to go to actually access the woman. Like, you had to bring cattle. You had to, like, it was like an actual, like, where some cultures, they have dowries now too and everything. And you kind of had to put effort forward to gain this wife. And then even on top of that, when God forbid something happened to the husband, it was in the culture that even like a kin, whether it's a brother or whatever, it's kind of
he had to pick up that
home. So it's like, we're moving away from the certain things from older cultures that kind of made sense, just to kind of to do what for what result.
Right. Which is what happens when you take the men out the house. You lose all of that. You lose structure. You lose guidance. You lose, I always say this. Men need to offer women the 4 Ps. You know what the 4 Ps are, right?
I know I have a protect, priesthood, provision, and I don't know what the other one is. The 4.
So I say the 4 Ps are protection, provision, procreation, and problem solving. When you're able to offer a woman that, you are able to have structure of a family. And we got another super chat. My God. He said, great show. It's nice hearing hearing uninterrupted point of view from Jess. She's very open-minded on the topic. Yo, listen, I totally 150% agree with you, my guy. Thank you so much, Clint. Clint, we miss you on the show. We miss you on the panel. You got to make a special appearance On top of that,
Come on now.
you and I gotta come and shoot at some of these shows as well, man. We're just you and I, uninterrupted, straight, facts and logic and good viewpoints. So thank you so much again for supporting the show. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. Once again, I'm gonna say, if you're coming in the door, please like the live stream, continue to comment. Listen, engagements push me further and further out into the algorithm, so more and more people can find the stream, more and more people can find the channel. We are reaching the shoots for the next week or so, because I could do it, is 50,000 subscribers. I'm at 36,000.2. Let's get to 50. So I need everyone to come in the stream, share it, like it, let people know, yo, GMT is live. Watch it. Come on. All right. So we're going to keep this going. All right. Yeah. So we were talking about, what men have to offer, what men bring, structure, guidance. So the 4 Ps is what matters. When you have a man to provide those 4 Ps, because when we say problem solving, that comes with a lot of logic, right?
Yeah.
So it comes where a woman can be chaotic and you're just thinking, like, it could be something as simple like, oh my God, babe, I just got into an altercation with my friend and we're not talking no more. And I don't know what to do. You usually have, when you have a man, he's able to help you stay sound. It's okay, babe. You'll figure this out. We're going to work this out together. We'll get through it. Right. He brings the problem solving to the door.
Right.
When you lose that, you lose a lot. You lose a lot. So I'm going to keep playing this video, though.
Woman has not been a matriarch in the sense that it has been defined thus far. And thank God research, and I hope black research, is being done now to reverse that kind of thing. In fact, the black woman has been a woman at the head of a household, not by choice, but by necessity. And more often, that's right, and more often than not, she is not a strong, matriarchal, aggressive, domineering figure. She is a woman in search of a man. But this story has not been told. The prejudiced society created what we have now. So that's what we were. Okay, we have a revolution going on. We're part of the revolution.
We're in the evolution. I think the revolution is yet to come.
Yeah, it's the well, this thing
we keep tossing the word revolution around lightly. Everybody.
Actress Val Ward.
So what's your thoughts on that thus far?
I mean, and it's funny how she used not by choice. So I have 2 ways of thinking of that, because remember, there are the degenerates out there, and we have already established we got to make better choices for these degenerates that we have children for. But then what I feel like with this argument is sometimes we don't even talk about the ones that push the men out of the door. So, then you're kind of left with all of the responsibility, and then you complain about it in a sense.
Right.
So.
Right.
I mean, I don't know exactly, as she was, because they were talking about the revolution, like were they talking about the onset of the feminist movement and all that, like what?
That's what I believe she was talking about. It looks like what they did when they did this video, they did chop it up. So it's some parts that are missing out of the conversation. But from what I'm gathering, they're talking about the revolution, the start of the feminist movement. If we have to look at this was in 1970. So back in, we could say our first wave of feminism, when women really started to kind of buy into it, was a revolution, right? Equality. Women now were able to vote. Women were able to, be able to pretty much join the workforce, do things like men, and almost start of the I don't need a man era. Because only 10 years after that, 11 years after 1970, I was born, right? So I came into the picture. And there was my mom was working. My mom was doing what she had to do coming from Trinidad, you know, to have to work out here in the US. So it you know, I would say that them speaking definitely relates a lot with today's time, but we could put a lot of talking points from then to now to say, wow, look how much, you know, we've changed, but we haven't really changed.